guys, welcome back to Garage Misadventures. I'm Mary and today we're going to be doing a project for me. I've gotten a new appreciation for blacksmithing and forging recently, so hoping to get into that a little bit later this summer. But today what we're going to do is we're going to make me a blacksmithing apron, so hopefully I don't get injured or burned when I start that hobby up. So to start off, what we did was we went down to our Tandy Leatherworks store in town and we got this piece of material here called Kodiak. They said it was real durable and real good for this type of project, so that's what we went with because we're not leather experts, they are. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a denim woodworking apron as a template because we know it fits me. So I'm going to lay it out and get it cut out and then we'll get ready with the rest of the project. Okay guys, now that I've got the basic apron shape cut out, we're going to start working on the straps next. So the woodworking apron that I was using as a template has a neck strap and two straps that tie around the waist. I'm going to alter that design just a little bit and I'm going to do two really long straps that are going to crisscross at the back and then tie around the waist. Hopefully what that's going to do is disperse the weight of the apron on my shoulders instead of making it right all on my neck. So we'll get those straps cut out and then we'll show you how we're going to attach them to the apron. I'm going to show you what I did. So I have two straps that are 3/4 of an inch wide by about 8 feet long, and I did that by using some of Doug's and his father's tools that are out here in the shop. They have an 8-foot level, so what I did was just measure out 3/4 of an inch on either end of my leather and then just laid the level out and cut straight down it. Made it really easy for me, especially since I'm a lefty. Straight lines are not my forte. These are entirely too long for my apron when all is said and done, but what I'm hoping to do is get everything fitted onto my apron, and then I'm going to do a dry fit, and then I can cut the strips to length, and that'll ensure that they're long enough, but I didn't cut them too short beforehand, which would just be super frustrating. The other thing I did was cut out these two circles, and the reason for that is I'm going to thread my strips through it and across, and that's just going to give me an extra piece of support in the back, and I'm going to back it with another sheet of leather and we're going to sew it together and hopefully it'll help reinforce the straps and keep everything a little bit longer lasting. And I just used something off of their drum sander as a cutout, so hopefully they don't mind. What we're going to use to attach everything are these little D-loops. They're 3/4 of an inch, which is why my straps are the width they are. And then I'm going to use some thread that's been coated in beeswax. The guys down at Tandy said it would be really good, so I'm going to stitch around the holes that I've cut in my circles, and I'll end up stitching the D-loops with straps of leather to my apron. So we'll work on those next. Everything cut out, we're going to start punching holes in the leather and getting ready to attach everything to the apron. So I've got a couple of things here that I'm going to use to get that done. I've got these punches. There's a 4-prong and a 2-prong. The 2-prong's better for making the curves a little bit smoother, so we're going to do that for the circles on the back and maybe some of the stitching around the main body of the apron. I've got a rubber mallet because I just did a practice and I figured that worked well enough to punch through, so we're gonna go with that. And then once we get that all done, we'll show you how we're gonna sew everything together. Punched out, I'm gonna see where exactly I want everything placed on the apron, and then I'll punch those holes as well. So now that I've got the holes punched out where I want everything to go, we're going to start getting the sewing done. The guys down at Tandy recommended this Leathercraft cement to just hold everything in place while I get the stitching done. So we'll get everything kind of tacked down first so I don't hopefully lose my lines, and go from there. So I got the D-loops secured onto my apron. One thing I discovered, they're mostly error, but I punched the holes all individually and then contact cemented everything together. That made some of my holes not line up right, so one of my D-loops is sewn on kind of janky. It's alright. It's on the back, no one's going to see it. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to thread my D-loop with my straps. Actually, I'm going to go this way, I think. And contact cement it together and then punch my hole so my holes line up because it goes through all of my layers together. So we'll give that a try and see if it works any better. Straps attached to the apron. It worked a lot better doing it this way, like contact cementing everything in place first and then punching my holes through all the material at the same time. Sounds pretty logical now that I've done it, but it made the holes line up a lot better. My stitches look a lot cleaner. So I guess if I ever have to do this project again, I know how to go about it now. The last piece that I'm going to do is the back support for my straps. This is going to take a lot of sewing, so I'm going to do this in the comfort of my home, probably on my couch, and then we'll do the dry fit up once I get this part assembled. Something to note with this, I am going to have to thread my straps through here before I sew the back piece on. I did think about that because otherwise it's going to be impossible for me to like fish it through because it's going to be really snug. So we'll do that and then we'll see you in a second. So first thing I'm going to do is take the front of my round piece and I'm going to stitch where the ties are going to follow through just to reinforce it and keep it from tearing. And then we'll feed the ties through and then we'll sew the back on and that part will be done. All right, let's get to work. Prettiest things in the world, but hopefully no one will be staring at my back.
Okay, so blooper reel. Mary broke our leather punch. It's now, you can see it, very offset. This is a cheapy leather punch that I've had for years, and a couple of the sizes are actually broken already. So we're gonna quit for tonight, and I'm gonna pick up a better quality punch tomorrow at probably over at Tandy again. And we'll continue this tomorrow after we get a better tool.
Good news is we only have 4 more punches to do. Alright guys, so what we were trying to do last night was add some rivets to the joints where everything comes together on the apron. So we're going to try and finish that up tonight with this new tool that we got. So let's give this a whirl. Guys, here is the finished product. As you can tell, it covers everything that I needed to cover, hopefully, for blacksmithing. Here's a look at how the straps worked in the back. I think it worked out pretty good. The weight's pretty evenly distributed and it's not like impeding my range of motion at all. So hopefully that works out well for me. You'll notice I didn't put any pockets or anything on the front, and that's just because I haven't started my blacksmithing hobby yet, so I don't know what pockets and where they're going to be most helpful. So I'll add those at a later date if I feel that they're necessary. Hopefully this encourages you guys to get out and try something, a new hobby, a new skill, and make something handmade. For Doug and I, it's always a good thing if you can make something yourself versus buying it off a shelf, and it's always better to use your hands if you have the chance. I mean, that's why we have them. So anyway, if you have any ideas or comments, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and as always, like and subscribe. We'd love to take you on any of the misadventures that we happen to be on. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.